r/askmen. Your wife cheats on you after 14 years, what do you do? How do you get over it? Comment 1. You have to know yourself, and be honest with yourself. My wife cheated on me just before our 18th anniversary. I tried for a year and a half to stay with her. We are getting a divorce. I was lying to myself, I can't stay with someone that did that to me. If you think you can honestly stay and not let what she did slowly kill you inside, then stay. If you know in your heart that you will never be able to see her the same again, well, you have your answer. But you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Comment 2. I'm surprised no one has looked at his comment history yet. There's a reason he's given no context. I don't know the details, but I know that someone who's commenting on naked girls excessively trying to get them to sleep with his wife is hiding something from the story here. Comment 3. Distance yourself from the concept that relationships have binary outcomes. They either last or don't. They are either successful or not. They are either meant to be or not. You failed or she failed. None of that is true. It doesn't help you. Relationships are parts of a life's journey that you share with someone else in a very meaningful way. The main learning to take from relationships that fail with a bang is that you missed the fork that should have taken you apart some time ago. But nothing about the part of the journey before that fork, and not a lot that came after it either, was wasted. It's all going to contribute to the next stage of your journey. And all that matters is that you keep taking those steps and picking your route based on you. Edit. Your kids can travel with you for a while longer in a way different fab your soon-to-be ex. That's not a problem for them, or you. Forcing them into a journey that damages them is, which would be what you do if you stay together when you really don't want to. Kids are damaged by witnessing resentment, not by divorces. Your children will be much better off with parents that walk a healthy road for themselves, apart. Comment 4. I looked through your comments. Get a divorce. You pretended to be okay with the idea of swinging or having your wife fuck other people, then it happened and made you insecure. Now you're saying you don't trust women. You are either okay with her having sexual relations outside the marriage or you aren't. But I bet you used it as a control factor, that you could veto someone if you felt threatened and come up with some excuse, and it seems like she decided to choose that person anyways. Comment 5. I have found that, especially in the name of love, we are capable of forgiving almost anything. However, should you? And, more importantly, would your forgiveness change anything in why she did what she did? I mean, in fairness, she might not even know why she did. But being human, I imagine something drove her to that decision, or impulse, or situation dash. It could well be that your forgiveness won't change anything in your partner. I was there recently myself. I forgave her. 2 months later, she left me. This after 16 years. I think what I'm trying to say is, there are 2 of you in that relationship. Everything is 2 people, not 1. It's very easy objectifying your partner, blaming the third party, believing that all hangs on your forgiveness, but she has a will of her own. There is a bigger question here than just forgiveness. I'm very sorry for you, but think of the instruction plaques on airplanes: put your own oxygen mask on first, then your children's. You should put your stability first, or you won't be able to be a good parent. Whatever that means for you. Good luck. Comment 6. How have the actions in your post history contributed to where your relationship is now? Monogamy isn't for everyone. Your post history does show it's not for you. You wanted your wife to submit to your fantasies of her being with other women, etc. All while also raising your 5 kids. Is cheating okay? No. But your wife is a person trying to have her needs met, just the way you were too. Improve your communication and do the work to decide whether your ability to be a loved lover, like your username implies, is one-sided or not. Comment 7. You can do one of 2 things. Try to forgive her and go to marriage counseling. Make an effort to move forward and forgive, but not forget. Leave and know that you won't be able to get hurt like that again. It is very difficult to move forward after something like that behind you. You will know which choice is right for you. Take a few days and really think. Do a pros and cons list. Stick to what your heart says. Don't look away from the choice you know you need to make. Comment 8. Guys, it goes both ways. My husband of 25 years cheated on me with an online hookup. I was devastated. After consulting a divorce attorney, I came to the conclusion that splitting at that point would have been a great financial hardship to my daughter, my pets and myself, even with alimony and child support. I also didn't want his paramour to have access to my then quite young girl. Anyone who would date a married individual has questionable values, IMHO. I was able to talk sense to him and he broke it off. As an anorexic, she subsequently starved herself to death. After 10 years, we're still working on trusting and healing but have figured out what went wrong and why. And we're closer today than we ever were. So weigh your priorities and don't do anything as a knee-jerk reaction. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Comment 9. Step 1: Get out, divorce, keep how much money you can during the process, but don't stress over it, it's not worth it in the end. Step 2: Reevaluate, look at your life and locate the things important to you. The ones that make you get out of bed and put smile on your face. Your kids, hobbies, work, whatever it is. Focus on them, don't let them to be taken away from you in step 1. Step 3: Live, realize life does not end at 40 or 50 or even 60, and however old you are, life is not over. You still have ways to go, fun times to have, purpose to fulfill, and if you don't let this ruin you, in few years this horrible moment will be just a memory like all other memories you got over, like first heartbreak, first lost job, etc. Comment 10. Pump the brakes. 99.99% of the people advocating for divorce have never been in a long-term marriage. Don't take advice from random teenagers in Reddit. Reality, infidelity is incredibly common in long-term relationships. 20 to 30% of marriages experience this at some point. That's millions of married couples. You need to take some time and assess your feelings. Then, when calm, have an open, honest dialogue with your spouse. Does she want a divorce? Is she blowing up the marriage on purpose? Is she simply a human being who made a terrible mistake? Was she seeking something she isn't getting from you? Is she a pathological narcissist just manipulating you? You won't know until you talk to her. Then, decide what you want. There's no wrong answer here. Forgiveness, counseling, behavior change and moving forward is a viable option. So is divorce. So is trial separation and counseling. So is navigating an open relationship, just know that you have choices here. Comment 11. I would normally agree with everyone saying throw her out. I had a more difficult situation in that I have 3 step-sons that I love like they were my own. I knew that I would lose the relationship I have with them if we got divorced. Maybe not immediately but over time for sure. I wasn't willing to risk losing my kids to get rid of my lying wife. After some time passed, she went to counseling and, very long story short, she came to understand why she had the self-destructive patterns that made her cheat. I was certainly not a great husband. I believed that by working hard to provide for my family and by being a good father that I was by default a good husband. FYI, that's not all there is to being a good husband. This all happened 4 years ago. Our kids have all graduated, moved out and are working on lives of their own. My wife and I have the best relationship we could imagine. I don't know if I've forgiven her, and she hasn't asked me to. I do trust her now, although I have to say that's the hardest. She is completely open with me with her social media, texts, calls, etc. I'm absolutely not saying this is what anyone else should do, but I'm sure glad I stayed. Sometimes you have to decide not what you want but what you want most. My kids mean more to me than anything. Comment 12. Don't ask Reddit. Cheating is selfish AF. I'm guilty of it. I figured out why I did though. Did she out of just pure, I want to fuck this person, or does it go deeper? If it goes deeper, both of you brought it to that point but the weaker person acted on it. Nobody here knows your situation or relationship, so you're doing a disservice to yourself by asking a somewhat echo chamber what to do. Examine yourself while your wife hopefully does the same. Are you able to move past this? Is she willing and able to put in the work to support you and herself through that process? Those are the questions that matter. Comment 13. My wife and I have been married for 4 years, but together for 15. We have a beautiful 2-year-old daughter who has a rare lifelong condition that put a lot of stress on our relationship due to the traumatic diagnosis, and she requires regular hospital visits. My wife had been acting strangely for a long while, but had also been ill, and I blamed it mostly on that, but started not replying when I would tell her I loved her, so I knew something was wrong. After eventually getting her to talk, she told me she didn't love me anymore and that she had grown apart from me. I am heartbroken and so confused. I always thought we would be together forever. Her demeanor quickly changed and she became more resentful and distant towards me, as if a mask had been lifted, and she was making quick moves to move away from me both emotionally and physically. A week later I came home from work early to find a man from her work hiding in our bedroom. She told me that he was just a friend and had panicked and ran upstairs. I may be an idiot, but after knowing her so long, a part of me believes her. But it was still pure shit in every dimension. I'm currently living in our house alone. I struggle to sleep in our bedroom because I still see that guy's terrified face. I'm going to therapy to try and work my own shit out and paste together just what the fuck is going on. I'm still in the thick of it right now and I don't have any answers really. I'm just working through it one day at a time, and I know I need to keep going, at least for my daughter's sake. It's comforting reading through this thread and seeing people who have already been through it saying it does get better, even though right now it seems like it never will. So yeah, I've got no answers, but I just wanted to make this post as a bit of a thank you to all the people who are sharing their stories.